Tony, are you ready to go on a cat quest?
A questing in time.
There's no time thing.
Oh, there's no
What do you
time.
mean? There's no time to quest, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Cat Quest is kind of a game for people who have very little time. I mean, they're usually their little short, condensed
Okay.
experiences.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is
Cute
Cat
little
Quest 3,
experiences.
and I played Cat Quest last year entirely on my Steam Deck. Actually, I spoke to my friend about Cat Quest, and I was like, oh, we should do the co-op thing. I think it's like local co-op, and I was like, we could do it through Steam Remote Play. And he was like, well, I don't own Cat Quest 2 or 1 on Steam. And I was like, because I only have them on my Switch. So he's only played them on Switch.
Okay.
I've only played them on Steam Deck. I'm like, well, maybe Cat Quest is just the perfect handheld game, you know?
Yeah. I think it might be.
But yeah, I literally was like last year, Cat Quest is my Steam Deck game of that year because it was just so much fun. And
I think it makes a lot of sense. And this one looks, at least from what I've seen of it, looks really good.
So Cat Quest 1, you're sort of like a dragonborn and you're going around fighting dragons.
Right.
I have not played Cat Quest 2, so I have no idea. I was talking to Scorn Retorts while playing this, and he was like, I think there's a girl cat in the second game, just because it's like a co-op thing. Because they let you pick between a boyish looking cat and a girlish looking cat in this one.
Yeah.
And I'm fairly sure there's local co-op in this one. There's no online co-op, which I think shame. I would have liked online co-op, but I understand that
that'd be nice.
Local
hard
co-op.
to do something for what you do. Yeah.
Yeah. I do honestly after playing this, I'm like, I kind of want to give Steam Remote Play a chance again because it's been so long since I've used it.
I heard someone say that it's been improved at some point, but I can't remember.
Yeah, they did an update where they made it so you could stream in 4K. They increased the bitrate, I think. People say it's pretty good now. But then I watched a friend, because I remember we were doing Discord was down, so we were talking on Steam, and I was like, you can stream the game through if you request to watch someone, you can watch their stream. And I was like, this looks like absolute garbage. This fucking sucks. So I'm wondering if...
Yeah, they haven't touched that code in a long time, though.
I wonder if that's the same as Steam Remote Play. We'll have to wait and see.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll have to test it.
Because I remember back in the day, a lot of the people I was streaming to or with had very poor internet connections. And...
Yeah, I feel like
I just want to... Oh, you got a glizzy in this game, Tony? You get a pirate pistol?
Like a flintlock?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm really happy we got pirate stuff. Pro pirate.
Me too. I'm also pro pirate. I mean, this game looked but straight up, this game looks fucking amazing. Like the art direction and style is so good. Combat-wise, it's very similar to the first game. So it's sort of a mixture of attacking and dodging, and then you mix it up with your pistol, which is like your ranged, because you can switch on the fly between your melee and your ranged, and you want to switch between them because when you've fired all your shots with your pistol, it then has to like recharge over time by reloading. And then you have like the big element that was in the first game as well, which is magic. So you can equip a bunch of different spells and cast different spells. In my playthrough of Cat Quest 1, I was a big magic user. I was like a big wizard. Scorn Retort said he was a big, like a stealthy rogue dexterity kind of cat. So there's tons of different ways to play Cat Quest.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
You can go for like a super damage build
forwards.
Yes, everything in this game is a cat pun. That it never changes in Cat Quest.
Tortuga, Tortuga, Pirates of the Caribbean, fame.
But yeah, I wonder how long this game is going to be, because historically, the first game, I think it only took me about 4 to 6 hours to finish. Let me check it. But I played it in like very small segments on my Steam Deck, like every time I was out and about, and I was like, oh, I can wait in the car for a bit, or a dentist office or something. I'm just play a bit of Cat Quest. It took me about 4.4 hours, it says on Steam. So
not too long at all.
It wasn't a crazy long game, but I would say it felt like a very good like amount of time. Like it felt condensed and good to play. Especially playing it in sections, just like 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there. Because like the main drive of Cat Quest, at least the first game, was here's a main story, but then in between there's like these side quests where you basically are like, there'll be short little story sections of text characters speaking, and then it will switch to, there's also like dungeons you go in and grind. So there is like a little bit of grind, but it's not like grindy, it's like the game's still short. I would say sometimes I felt like in the first game a lot of the main quest was outpacing me, and I would have to go and try and find stuff to grind, and I couldn't always find the stuff I wanted to grind. And I'm hoping, my biggest hope for this game is the pacing's been improved. But the ship combat is really sick as well. Like you can attack people on ground with your ship as well.
Yeah, I really like the ship.
So you have like a fucking sword on the front, so you can ram into ships. You can shoot them from afar. You have like a boost button.
I love how like you seen like this, like I think it's Square Enix games, like other like RPG, like older RPGs that you don't walk around the map and you go into the battle screen. It kind of looks like you're playing a combat game on the actual map screen, which I quite like.
Yeah.
Just really nice.
Cat Quest is also an incredibly forgiving game. At any point you talk to these parrots, you can just save the game and then it will fully heal you.
Pirate. I understand the on there.
Oh yeah, the rats are pirates. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand that. I understood that obviously rats and mice enemies of the of cats, but I was like, why pirates? But that makes sense now.
But that was a big thing with the first game. It was like a lot of the map was blocked off by your inability to go into the water. This game, immediately they're like, you have a ship, go crazy. So I'm wondering if the map is just like way bigger this time, or there's some other way they're going to gate you off from going places.
Yeah, possibly.
But basically, what I experienced of Cat Quest 3 was like, it's more Cat Quest, but they've improved combat. They've massively improved graphics, like art fidelity, and like just overall, like the game just feels great to play. Like if you liked Cat Quest, you might like Cat Quest 3. Like I mean, it's as simple as that. Yeah, if you want more Cat Quest, Cat Quest 3 just feels like an improved, more Cat Quest.
Yeah,
which is cool.
I think you own at least one of the Cat Quests.
They're always really cheap.
But yeah, they are.
Like currently, Tony.
Cat Quest.
Right now, currently the first Cat Quest is like £2 on Steam.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could find it even cheaper on like a Fanatical or something.
Yeah, I think they have. I think it's probably they have been cheaper on First Quest.
I'm guessing probably a lot of people own it on the eShop for the Switch. It's probably cheap there as well.
But I just feel like I've never ran for the other two, but I want to play this one more than any of the other ones. Like I might just like jump into this one.
Yeah, I mean the first two Cat Quests are really short games, and they're still definitely worth playing.
Sure.
And I would say
I think it's just the theme of this one like appeals to me more.
Yeah, I mean honestly, like the way they've started this out, it is completely unrelated to the first game. I can tell you so far. So. Like the opening cutscene,
like Easter eggs. The Easter eggs that you know if you play the game, but if you don't, it doesn't matter too much.
It seems like this would genuinely be a good place for anyone to jump in. But if you're interested, I would say there is still worth in playing the first game. I personally haven't played the second game, but I've heard it's good as well, and it has local co-op as well. And it might be better to play them, in the order of. Their creation, because sometimes when you play the best game and you go back and you play their earlier work, you go, oh, okay, I don't like this as much. But, sometimes it's nicer to go in order of progression,
I could just not play the other ones. That's also an option as well.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. I'm around
a lot of the time, I just jump into the latest entry. Like, because I feel like that's sometimes people are like, no, you have to go back and play the first game of the series, and it's like, Well, I don't have nostalgia for the first game of the series, and it feels kind of dated and clunky, and then it kind of puts you off the series. So, just
I think it makes sense to do what was right for you. Yeah,
I've been gushing about Cat Quest 3 for about 10 minutes. I haven't explained what we're doing. This is Tangerine. We're doing a Tangerine of Steam Next Fest, and we're talking about all the Steam Next Fest demos I played, and this is one of the best ones I played. I'm just going to say that straight up. Incredibly well polished.
I love the look of the purple
Tony runs amazing, so cool. Looks amazing. It's going to be a fucking killer game on the Steam Deck and the Steam Deck OLED. Like anything you run it on, it's going to run like a treat.
That's good to hear.
So yeah, I think the categories we're doing is adventure, which Cat Quest comes under. We have adventure, survival crafting, and one puzzle game that I played. I made sure to get my bases down and play one puzzle. But don't worry, it's a special. Eclectic. It's a special puzzle game.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cat Quest 3 is really great. Recommend it. You can always fast forward through the text if you don't want to read it all.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next game, which is Pipistrello and the Cursed Yoyo. I remember we talked about this trailer, I think, on the podcast. They said, this looks really cool. So I was like, oh, it's got a demo. Let me check it out. And this game, Tony, is fucking sick. Holy, I was not good as well. I was not expecting it to be as good as it is. It kind of took me by surprise.
Really? Okay. Like mechanically,
mechanically. The general premise is it's sort of like an adventure... retro, almost Metroidvania in a lot of ways as well. Not like straight, but it's. I don't know if you saw at the beginning. It is sort of set up almost like a Game Boy Advance game, and it is even to the point where I think you can play with like a Game Boy Advance bezels on if you want. Like it's set up to be played on like a widescreen system. With that kind of design mentality. But the main premise is. You have this yo-yo, which you can use to attack enemies and hit boxes. But the cool thing about it is you can also use it to solve puzzles and geometry as well. So if you see these bumpers, you can actually hit the yo-yo against those bumpers and the yo-yo string will extend and keep going, which makes it really, really cool for like combat and stuff. If you see there, I'm hitting off the bumper, and then it just goes and it hits every bumper that it goes through, and then you use it to pick up coins, you use it to hit enemies, pick up objectives, and the fucking yo-yo mechanics, they feel so like the combat and the puzzles and the movement in this game feels so insanely satisfying. It fit genuinely. I played this, and I was like, this is one of the best demos I've played in Next Fest. This is so fucking fun. I just kept playing it. It was so good.
Yeah. And the combat I've seen so far, it seems like you're rewarded for thinking more than you are just pixel perfect or timing.
Mm-hmm. This is kind of the start of the game where it goes over the story.
Right.
So, because you have less mechanics now because it's the start of the game. And there was 3 points in the demo, which I was like, it was cool because it has this slice of life, not slice it, but vertical slice gameplay where it's here's the start of the game, here's a level halfway through, and here's a boss fight. So they just let you experience some of the major things in the game. Just to be this is we can't give you the whole game, but here's a taste of everything.
I think it's really
the money system is really interesting. So when you die, you can retry the same room and it'll cost a percentage of the money you have, and then the money also, once you get to your hideout, you can use it to buy badges. And badges let you augment your gameplay, but you can only wear a certain amount of badges. So this is the game being you don't have to just use bumpers. Any curved edge can be used to extend it. Yeah, so look at this.
Yeah.
I was getting confused. I was like, wait, that's a curved edge. Maybe I can just bounce off that, which is really, really cool. Right, you can even get upgrades or badges that let you bounce your yo-yo off flat walls, and that's when it becomes really interesting. Cool. All over the place. But basically, the story is this is your auntie, and some people come along and suck up her soul, and you interrupt the soul sucking because they were working on some sort of dark project that resulted in people using people's souls to power batteries, and they take her soul in these batteries, but a small part of her soul goes into the yo-yo and it becomes this cursed yo-yo, but you can basically, it gains new abilities, and as you get back the batteries of parts of her soul, you like bring your auntie back together and you get more abilities for the yo-yo, is how they've set it up, right?
Yeah.
But again, so the badges, you can buy blueprints and you can wear badges, but you have like a badge limit of how many. You have a thing called badge points, so you have to like it's sort of like an energy system, you know, where you can wear as many badges as you want as long as they're inside your energy limit, and there is ways to increase your energy. So like you may want to use this badge that makes it so you can bounce off the wall, but then it will cost 5 out of your 10 badge points, so you won't be able to wear as many smaller badges, for example. But then what's really cool with the money system is they give you this system where they let you straight up upgrade your character, but they have this system called debt. So when it costs like 500 coins, and then it's like once you've paid off this debt, you get 1 extra life point permanently, right? But the thing that's really cool is you can only pay it with freshly acquired coins. And so you have to get 500 coins past that point. You can't just save up a bunch of money and buy it immediately. And why this is interesting is because when you have the debt, you have a debuff. So it's like you want to take upgrades, but you only want to take them when you have you're like, oh, there might be a boss fight coming up. I don't want to be debuffed before the boss fight, but I do want this upgrade. So you have to think smartly about taking upgrades because you have this interesting debt system. So for example, oh, I'm going to have, once I pay off this debt, I'll have an extra life point. But for the, as long as I have the debt, I will, I'm trying to remember what some of them were. I will lose, I'll take extra damage, for example, or something like that.
Yeah. So you have almost fun trying to figure out what you want and what you, just try and figure stuff.
Yeah,
combinations.
And there's a tech tree. So when you take a certain upgrade, then that lets you take the next upgrade. And I think you can take on as much debt as you want as long as you are in that far on the tech tree. But taking on more debt makes you weaker. So just going straight forwards for upgrades will make it really hard. But if you take on that challenge and you actually beat it, you get massively rewarded, which I think is this really cool risk-reward system that the game has.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
But yeah, I'll skip ahead a little bit.
The story seems kind of crazy, but I guess you decided to keep it going.
Yeah.
So I guess the enemies got more complex, or the rooms got more complex.
Yeah, there's lots of little small puzzles.
Right.
This is just pretty early in the game, so they're still trying to teach you mechanics. I can skip here. There's a new mechanic that gets introduced where, so not only can you throw your yo-yo now, but you can actually detach it from the string, and then it basically goes flying across the screen. But here it is. But you can only get it back onto your yo-yo if you go and pick it up, or if you wait for it to despawn.
Right.
But it's interesting because when the yo-yo is detached from your string becomes like a whip, so you can use it to stun enemies, but you can't actually deal damage to enemies. So you're it can be really good in combat to throw a yo-yo across the screen, hit the side of a wall, and take out a bunch of enemies. But until you get the yo-yo back, you won't be able to actually damage the enemies. So it's this, and again, risk reward. And you see there, I need this battery to solve one of the puzzles. But I need to like throw it to pick it up and then bring it back to
Yeah.
me, sort of thing, which is really cool.
You can throw it with it on though. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Usually, like, if you accidentally get rid of a battery, it'll just spawn it next year. It's not too punishing in terms of, oh, now you have to go back and get the battery all over again.
It gives you limitations to overcome, but not annoying and just pointless limitations.
But it has this really great mix of great combat, great puzzle design, and just really satisfying movement and controls. Like, I did not expect this game to be as good as it was. I went in because I think it's made by Pocket Trap. They did another game called Dodgeball Academia, I think it was called, that was quite well received back in 2021. It was like a sports RPG game about dodgeball. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm completely enamored by this game, Tony. Like, I think that
it looks really good.
I think this game is quite possibly my favorite game of the Next Fest so far. So.
Oh really?
I love this game. I think it's great. I want to get this game when it comes out.
Okay.
Whenever that is, it says coming soon on Steam. You can see there, I was stunned that game. Well, like here's some of the later levels.
So
like
they let you slice they gave you.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can see, like, there's a mechanic where you have to use the yo-yo to move platforms and throw it to move platforms. Yeah, it is really cool. Oh, you see there at minus 374, that's my debt.
Yeah.
So let's see if I can... So here we go. So, pause it here. Retry cookie. So life restored upon retrying a room +1. While indebted, roses won't drop from enemies. So roses are how you heal, I think. So that's kind of like the buff debuff that you get.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And then you have like this is the badge equipment. So you can get +1 life on a badge, or the wing badge I used a lot because it nullifies damage if you accidentally walk off the map, and I was constantly accidentally walking on the map. Or there's interesting badges like this eyeball. It takes 1 badge slot, but it lets you see the health of your enemies, which they do sometimes in games. Right. They're like, you can get extra information if you want it, sort of thing.
Yeah. I just think it's called BP, battery points, I suppose. Or
badge points. I think it's badge points, is what I would say. And then you get blueprint. So the money that you don't, because with debt you need freshly acquired money. With the money that you have stored, you use to buy new blueprints to unlock new badges to equip, and you can go back to your hideout at most point. Like there'll be these trapdoors around the map that you go into that will take you back to your hideout, so you can unequip and re-equip badges. And there's usually a trapdoor near a boss fight, so you can try different strategies out on the fly, sort of thing. In between like attacks, which is really cool.
So it seems like they've got a lot of convenient things, but still challenging and still interesting. An interesting challenge.
Like I think the boss fight they had, I kicked my fucking ass. Like I was struggling with it. I think I attempted it a couple of times, and then I was like, you know what? Because I think that the problem was with going straight to the boss fight was I didn't have time to like build up my character.
Yeah.
Obviously there was some badges you could equip, and some... I think they may have given you a little bit of some of the debt upgrades, but... yeah. I think I was struggling with that boss fight, but there is an accessibility option, so if you don't like the boss fight combat, I think you can just turn some of the stuff down, which is cool.
Yeah, it's nice to see. It doesn't offend anyone else, so why not make it easier if that's what you want?
Yeah. Oh, wait, I'm supposed to check my notes to see what I wrote down, actually. I wrote a bunch of stuff down, and I forgot.
You have a lot of notes for this one.
I don't know. I wrote like at least like a paragraph of notes, but I'll see if I haven't covered anything that I wanted to talk about with this one.
There you
go. 2D adventure game with almost Zelda-like exploration and puzzles. Almost Metroidvania elements as well. It's really fun using creative ways of solving not only puzzles with the yo-yo, but combat with the yo-yo. like the debt system. Money is also kind of your lives as well, which makes it really interesting. Probably my favorite demo. Yeah. Let's move on. Aloft. Aloft, I wrote down, I've never played Aloft before, but I feel like I've played this game 1,000 times before as an early access, unoptimized, survival crafting game. Yeah. I don't know.
That is a problem.
Is this because I like the premise? It was like, oh, it's a survival crafting game, but it's like it's almost like you're on like floating islands, right? And I love the idea of like flying and stuff like that. It's always been one of my dreams.
Especially if it looks aesthetically pleasing as well. I think you can do a lot with floating islands and things.
But the way the game works, it's like you get wood and rocks and you build a crafting bench, and they do a system where they do like discovery recipes. So you have to basically find new objects and then put them together and to try and figure out how they go together. The game was literal like 20-30 FPS when I started it. Like the FPS was the game was very poorly optimized. Like probably one of the worst optimized games I played in Next Fest.
Okay.
So that's kind of a disappointment for a start.
Yeah. I know like, these sort of games are hard to optimize, but it's still disappointing.
Well, I played another one after this, and I was like, oh, this is really well optimized. So, But I heard a lot of people were saying, like, they really... Because, like, I'm going down to 40 FPS. I'm running this on, like, a 4080 and a 7700X.
Yeah,
like,
there's no... That's just the game at that point.
I think it needed a... Because it's... I think I was running it at native 4K because there's no upscaling options. Right. Like, I'll go to the options here. Let's have a look. I think I ended because everything was on a mix of like low, medium, high, and I was like,
what has any effect?
Yeah, because if there was like DLSS or like even just like TSR or something like that, I'd just put some upscaling on.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, I'll turn the settings down. And then I was still struggling to even get like 60 FPS sometimes. I was like, okay, I don't think this is me. No, because it has like, it has dynamic resolution here. Wait, let's have a look. But it may... I had dynamic resolution profile performance, dynamic resolution intensity default, dynamic resolution target 120 FPS.
I do know that sometimes dynamic stuff have bugs where it just doesn't do the thing it's supposed to do and actually makes it worse. But
so it had dynamic resolution scaling, and it was still running like complete trash on a powerful system. And the target was 120.
It was meant to be 120, so...
Because that's where I like to play my games.
Yeah.
Because I have a 240 hertz screen, so I'm just like, well, if I can run it at half rate...
Hopefully that's fixed for the release.
But yeah, I will say the cool mechanic was eventually I got to a point where I built a glider and I was able to glide around, and that was cool.
Okay, that was cool, was it? Okay.
I think
it looks aesthetically pleasing. Like I feel like depending on the mechanics.
I think this is because a lot of people were saying, "Oh man, I've been playing this game with my friends and it's really fun." I feel like I would have a lot more fun with this game playing it multiplayer with a bunch of friends, but as a single player game, it just wasn't very interesting.
I think that's all well and good, but I still feel like these sort of games need to offer more to make it fun by yourself, and to be even more fun with friends.
Also, if I have
just always fun with friends.
A friend was messaging me while I was recording this, and I was like, okay, let me pause the recording, and then message him back, and then I played some more, and I realized I hadn't unpause the recording, so like I went off, I was gliding, I went off, I landed on this corrupted base and I killed a bunch of monsters. I was like, oh yeah, this will look cool, and I was like, wait, none of this was recording. I was like, oh shit.
Well, you know what, I don't believe you. I thought it didn't actually happen.
It never happened.
It never happened.
Look here, you'll just go pause menu. I'm now on a random island at nighttime. Almost dead because I just killed a bunch of monsters. Because when you get to the island after I killed the monsters, I learned a new ability as well. So it seems like
Okay.
a lot of
There's definitely some
the
mechanics
ability
to it, though.
exploration is by learning. I think you'll see gliding here. And the gliding is very forgiving as well. You have like these wind spurts you can go up to get further, but you can also just have a like a sprint glide sort of thing on a cooldown. That's just pretty cool.
That's very Guild Wars 2 gliding. Once you unlock all the stuff, of course.
But it is very open world, I guess. Maybe that's the performance issues because you have like these big islands.
I think I can get behind it. I can appreciate the mechanic. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh yeah, that's nice.
But yeah, I think the gliding mechanics is one of the big redeeming features of the game. Maybe it's more fun with friends. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Like I have
bad progression. It's like makes or breaks these games. So
yeah, I don't want to check it out again until I've heard it's been actually properly optimized because right now it just runs like shit. Honestly,
I just feel like for me personally, I just feel like it's a cop out to say it's for more fun with friends. It's like right, but surely you should surely the mechanic should be good like by itself. And it's an even more fun with
there's 1,000 early access survival games that have so much potential that run like ass, and are more fun because you get to hang out with your friends than the actual game themselves sometimes. So
I'm curious to see where this one goes, but maybe not yet. Maybe keep an eye on it.
Let's move on to the First Dwarf. So the First Dwarf is a survival crafting game where you use like a mix of technology and magic. To build like an automated, because you're the first dwarf to go to these islands.
Oh, okay.
Because you actually, at one point, once you've built some settlements, you send ravens back to your clan, and they send more people with an airship. Because
that's cool. That's good. That's kind of good.
Basically, you're in an airship, and you're going because you have a mech, so you can cut down trees and gather resources and stuff. But you're the first to go to these islands, and there's a storm, and that storm knocks your ship down, and you basically have to rebuild because your ship's been destroyed, sort of thing. But yeah, it's cool because it kind of has this mixture of magic and technology.
Magitech.
Yes.
I do appreciate when you have sayings with that in, so
because it has this mix of like you have a mech, but you're cutting down trees and you're building like wood houses. But when you have like tech of ancient civilizations that is sort of like magic.
Yeah.
What is they saying like Star Trek is just like no, I was saying Star Trek they say like magic's just science you don't understand sort of thing. So if you find technology from ancient civilizations.
Arthur C. Clarke's quote is significantly advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic.
There it is. But yeah, so the game starts off and you're harvesting like wood and rocks and stuff in your mech. And it's pretty cool, like the system they have, because you can switch between being on foot, which lets you repair your mech and get into smaller spaces. Then you can also switch your mech, which lets you build things and cut down trees and stuff. And then you can also switch to your dragon pet, who can go up into the sky and scout things. There's also like corruption on some of the maniples that you use the fire of the dragon to shoot out, and you can also use that fire in combat as well if you want. You can like switch between them, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Game runs pretty well. I didn't have any performance issues like the previous game. It was actually very smooth. It looks pretty good.
The wind's less.
Yeah. So you start off gathering yourself, but then you build like lumber mills and quarries. And then what these do is these gather resources over time. So at the end of the day, it'll be like, is producing 300 rock per day. So it's sort of like an automate. And to power these, you need to make these mana lines. So you basically, it's a little like Automation Factory. It's sort of like Satisfactory where...
Automation progression.
you build a battery basically onto one of these mana pools, and then you use these mana pipes to connect it up to like a grid, and then you connect it to a machine, and then you connect to the quarry, and then the quarry will automate mining rock for you over time, sort of thing. And then there's also a third element, so it's not just survival crafting / automation. It's also a actually there was another element. It's a defense game because
it's wave
nests. Yes, and like nests of enemies will come and attack you. I should just
Factorio vibes as well then, like light Factorio sort of.
Yeah.
Mechanics.
You like build cool. Like I should show you like
more interesting progression than a lot of other these types of games. So
sure, you could build like a sawmill to cut down wood for you. One thing that annoyed me because I was building walls to protect the base. You can only really build it one grid at a time. You can't just put it down and then drag it across several grids, which really fucking annoyed me. I was like, just let me drag it across the entire... I have the resources. I can build multiple walls at a time. Stop forcing me to put one wall down at a time. It's really annoying.
Well, I assume it's probably just how that... Maybe no idea. Maybe you should put a request
the mana pipes you can do across several grids at a time, to a certain extent.
Oh, okay.
But the walls you can't for some reason. It's like I wanted to just drag it all the way across, and it was like, nope.
Yeah.
You can only do it. Well, this is a gate at the moment, which you can only have be one block big. Gates have to be powered as well, because I locked myself in accidentally. Because you can turn gates on without power, but you can't open gates without power.
That kind of makes sense.
But yeah, everything needs to be connected to the grid. So gates...
This should be dragging.
Yeah, look! I have to go one wall...
That is annoying.
One wall...
It kind of looks like it's bugged out. Maybe it was supposed to work. It didn't work for the demo.
It was really annoying. Well, the game came out today, actually, of recording, the 19th of June. So hopefully because it's probably an early access. Yeah, it's an early access game.
Get fixed at some point, hopefully.
But you also you can build like turrets, which you power with the mana pools. And your base will get attacked, and as you go to different islands, there'll be nests, and you'll keep getting attacked by the nests until you clear them out.
Yeah.
And then the fourth element is you can then build bases, and you can send off a raven to say, "Hey, settlers come here," and then that allows you to build more stuff once you get more settlers living there.
I really like that idea. It's like actually you see like a progression on like the actual increasing the size of your settlement.
So you see like my mana pool over there, and I've got it connected up to some of my turrets and my my base and stuff like that. I was like, why can't I build this? No. Sometimes some of the buildings, I'm like, you need to specifically place it in certain places. It felt like.
Right.
There's just a lot of shit in your way all the time. Yep.
Okay.
To help you when you get attacked by horrible creatures.
Yeah.
Like this. So they will like come and fuck your base up. So you can see like the balloon turrets here are attacking them from range. Yeah. And they're attacking the wall.
I love the idea of like your base getting attacked in like survival games, and I wish more games had that. So
I think in survival crafting games, the concept of your base getting attacked, especially if you're not there as well, is I don't like that. Like it's actually a mechanic I dislike.
I think it can be done really badly, but I think the idea of like you've done something and then now you have to defend it, I think makes sense. I think you have to. It can't be a chore, but I think the same goes for like the actual survival mechanics itself.
There's a couple of games I've played like that, like 7 Days to Die. Every 7 days, you would have to defend your base from like a zombie blood moon attack, and then there's also
that's kind of the whole point of the game, right?
Yeah. There's also
I think that it's not my thing, but I think that makes sense to me. I feel it's like the same vibe.
Valheim, you would have raids every so often would come and attack your base, but sometimes the raids were so powerful they would just come in, destroy your base, and be like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
See, that's the sort of shit I don't like. Where
it is very difficult.
Like Valheim's is like a hard game, and it's very punishing if you die. And then they would raid your base and destroy everything, and be like, well, fuck. Now I just have to start again, and it feels kind of awful.
Yeah. I don't think that's a good system at all.
But without because there's like this whole tutorial system of being like, you should build this next, you should build this next. I started like being like, well, I should build more quarries and stuff to get more resources, and I was like, well, I've reached the mana limit, so I started going out and building more mana pools to get more energy, and I started just naturally, expanding out. And yeah, I think the game has a pretty good progression from that sense of just, I need more energy for my grid. I'm going to go out and find more mana pools so I can build more buildings, and then I need to defend this area, which means I need more turrets and more walls and stuff like that, right?
I just like mechanically, in fact, where like the more pollution you put out, which obviously you do, the more production you do, like the stronger the enemy is. Like I just feel like that sort of system makes sense.
Yeah. The monsters destroyed my mana pool, my mana well.
So otherwise, monsters aren't anything special. They just become an annoyance, and they're just the progression or the difficulty progression is just me building stuff, which I guess is fine. Selling it, that's just like. Well done.
Well done. I would say I think the automation, like the discoverability of new stuff to expand your base is really good. I think the weaker parts are like, I think the combat is pretty bad. Like it's sort of just
that's a bit basic.
Swinging. It doesn't feel very good to do.
There's no like mana cannons you can fire or anything.
There might be later on,
magic missile,
but not to what I got to.
Right.
So I
would still argue the basic attack should still be fun. So.
But I got to a point where it's like, you need to build a research station so you can get more tech. I was like, cool, and I clicked on the button to research the tech it told me to, and then it was sort of like, is it supposed to be doing something? Do I have to wait? And I'm like, I've been playing this game for like an hour. Let me go and play something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the game is pretty fun. I don't know if I would get this game because it's.
Oh really?
Well, I like automation stuff. I like certain survival crafting stuff, but because it also mixes in that like management stuff where you have to like build houses and.
I quite like having a reason to build.
And then it's also the wave defense, which I personally don't really like. Wave defense management stuff. But it goes together well in this game.
So really like you build more turrets to defend your base if you don't want to attack.
Yeah, it's almost like an RTS, right? Where you want to expand, and then you're like, well, if I expand, it's going to get attacked, so I need to defend it. And then it's like, you're just constantly in a cycle of, expanding and defending and demanding more resources. And
why is this building not placeable?
I don't have enough rocks. I didn't realize this either, but if you look up there, it's telling me I only have 11 out of 30, but I wish it was more like in your face, like you do not have enough resources.
That's the wrong way around though. To me that looks like you've got more than enough rocks. It's like it should be like a fraction.
And also like, because it's like the production comes in every day from your quarries, I was having to do a lot of manual crafting stuff, and so I was spending a lot of time running around like just mining rocks and trees and stuff, like a lot of the time. So hopefully that gets better as the game goes on, but it's very slow.
Few manual labor
in the beginning. Yeah, I thought this game was all right. It's a game I could play, but it's not a game that I'm like in love with, sort of thing.
Yeah. I don't know, I think this sort of can play like more gels with what I like, so
like I like the automation stuff. I like the crafting stuff. I thought it was cool. Music's nice. So we on to the final puzzle games, Tony. Here we go, the final one. So me and you are big fans of the YouTuber Game Maker's Toolkit, and he has basically said, I keep making videos about video game design, but I've never actually designed a video game. So why don't I go through the process of designing a video game to see what it's really like? So he's been making a puzzle with light platforming game called Mind Over Magnet. Like it's not really a platformer. I would say it's definitely more of a puzzle game.
Puzzle with platforms, yeah.
Yeah. But basically,
I like his art style because he drew created the art, and I actually do really appreciate this style, especially the backgrounds. Yeah.
So these are the unsimplified backgrounds where.
Yes.
Because there's an option. There's an options in the menu you can turn on simple backgrounds, so you don't get distracted by what's in the foreground and the background, which I didn't have an issue with.
Separation is good enough, but I guess
for like some of these puzzles, I was like, I've seen Game Maker Toolkit's videos before. I know what to do. Like I've absorbed this knowledge. There was a couple that I was like stuck on for like 5 minutes. I was like, oh, I'm not actually sure what to do, and then I just kept trying stuff, and eventually I figured it out, which is cool. Like, I think this kind of puzzle design is what I really like, because I'm a big fan of what I would call like Portal puzzle design, where the game goes, here's a bunch of simple rules that you can understand, and then let's put these together in interesting ways.
I agree with that. Like, as I said, then becomes emergent sort of thinking.
Yeah, because you can see here, like, the switch has a green heart on it, and then the drill has a green heart, and it goes, this button affects this thing, which is really so great signposting.
Yes. Because I know some people like Portal even like has like wires, but sometimes just having
Portal has like
so much better.
Portal has like lights that connect buttons to what they do.
I think the last Portal mod that I watched you play, I was like, "There's too many wires here. Like, could we have like some other distinguishing factor though?
We need more yellow paint. Let's piss people off, Tony. We need more yellow paint in video games."
Yep. I'm with two minds of that. I think if you're gonna have yellow paint, you should be an option to turn it off. I think there's no reason why you shouldn't.
Yellow paint option.
Yeah, it's just a rendering thing, surely. Like, just texture. Like, some people don't want it, some people do want it. Turn it on and off. Like, Mirror's Edge. Like you can turn off, like, it's like obviously very silent. Everyone knows it as like the bright red and like colorful, like monochrome thing. But you can actually turn off the highlights, the red light of the color.
But I can say, even somebody as stupid as me was able to beat this demo, and I had a lot of fun. I thought it was really cool.
You could play as Paul.
I can play Paul, yeah. I wouldn't say Portal's like a particularly hard puzzle game though.
No, it's not.
I'm trying to think of what is like a hard puzzle game that I've played. Like, I don't generally play puzzle games. Like, my favorite puzzle games of all time are Portal and Portal 2, and even Portal 2 is more of a story game than it is a puzzle game a lot of the time.
Oh yeah. Complex puzzles are relatively complex puzzles.
You like that puzzle game? Was it Barbara Is You?
Barbara.
But that's another game where you had.
I don't know.
I think I might get a little bit annoyed by it, but it's also a game where the game goes, here's the rules, do them in different ways.
There are a couple of levels in that where it's like, that's just really dumb. Like, I know how to solve it, but I don't want to do it. But a lot of them are like, it's kind of like coding. Some of it, it's like trying to put it in the right order and like do something in the right order.
I don't know. There's stuff like Portal where I'm like, oh, I understand the basic rules, and I become Albert Einstein in like like in fucking what is it called? Safe Room? The Merchant? What was it called? Yeah, Save Room or Save Room the Merchant. It's like, here's a basic shape-based puzzle game. Figure out how these objects go in and what objects to get rid of when you need to do it. And I would go, I don't know how to do that. And it's like, oh, it's the attaché case from Resident Evil 4. I am now Albert Einstein. I know exactly what to do. It's like if you can gamify the puzzle in a certain way, it just makes so much more sense to me. I don't know. Maybe my brain just works differently, but yeah.
No, I think there's definitely like a weird expectation thing to like. I know, like the MTHB. No, that's not right.
You're about to say Marcus Brownlee.
Yeah. Marcus Brownlee. Look, they've all got Wait, no, I just bring
Fortnite.
I don't know. But yeah, anyway, Game Maker's Toolkit has videos on like making puzzle levels are difficult. You have to like get in the swing of it and actually test it, because like some people will have completely different information or expectations.
Yeah.
So I think it is an art.
But yeah,
a very difficult art.
The design of this really reminded me of that Portal design, and I think that's the biggest compliment I can give to a puzzle game is that.
That's it. That's
reminded me of Paul because Paul's.
Oh, you can die.
One of my favorite games of all time. Yeah, if you get crushed by blocks, you will die.
Can I just say I want to see like bolts go everywhere? That's my feedback. Will you die? Or will you explode?
Like a Ratchet and Clank crate.
Yeah. Well, Ratchet and Clank, you like. And spin around and fall over. So, yeah.
Or you fall off a cliff and you go, ah!
Yeah, that's great. I just want more unique deaths. I think sometimes it's fun to die.
Yeah.
This is a more complex puzzle then.
For me, yes.
Well, I don't quite know what the...
This is pre-magnet as well, because there's levels where you get the magnet, and that becomes quite interesting, where you can reverse the polarity. And then there's like platforms that you can walk on, but the magnet can go through, sort of thing. So, like this puzzle took me like 5-10 minutes, and then there's another puzzle that took me. Sometimes puzzles will take me like a couple of seconds, where I look at them and I go, "Oh, that could have been hard to someone," but like I just immediately understood what I was supposed to do. Like, just the way puzzle games work. Sometimes you get it, and sometimes you don't.
Yeah, I think if you ask someone who likes puzzle games, or lots of people who like puzzle games, like a specific game, like what was the hardest puzzle to you? I think you would get like a load of different answers.
Yeah.
I think everyone's just different. And
it's like when me and Jesse were playing Hellblade at the same time, and he was like, "This section was awful," and I kept dying over and over again. I was like, "Oh, I completed that first time." And then he named a section and was like, "Oh yeah, that was really easy." And I was like, "Oh, I just kept dying over and over again. That was really hard to me." So like different people just experience things differently, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think puzzle games expose that even more than any other game.
I'm trying to figure out what I even did to complete this puzzle, because I'm still confused what I did. Now, surely I have to have the elevator on with the block underneath the drill, and then I need to go to the drill and activate the drill so it floats up while I'm on the other side.
That makes sense.
But I need to be on the other side of the elevator.
Oh, I think. Wait, you're about to do it, I think.
Okay, here we go. Finally,
I think you've done it.
I've done a puzzle.
I want to say as well, like sometimes.
But somebody might look at that puzzle and go, "How are you, not getting this immediately?" sort of thing.
But I find with sometimes puzzles, like, unless I'm actually like there, like testing stuff, I find it really difficult to solve some puzzles, like even if they're easy.
Yeah, one of my friends was playing through Portal. I think it was Portal 2, like a year ago or something, and she was like, "I'm really stuck on this puzzle," and I was like, I can't 100% remember what you're supposed to do, but if you Steam Remote Play and let me have a look around and just shoot some portals, I will be able to figure it out within like a couple of minutes. And she was like, "Yeah, sure." So I just Steam Remote Played in, and I was like, "Oh yeah, you need to do this," and I figured it out. Because I've beaten Portal and like I told you, I don't replay games very often. So if I replay a game, I love that game. I have replayed Portal and Portal 2 like tens of times. I've replayed through the co-op with like at least like 5 or 6 different people. Like if somebody's like, "Do you want to play Portal 2 co-op?" I'm like, "Yes." I will play through it again and again and again because it's so fun.
Yeah, it's just fun. Yeah.
But yeah, Mind Over Magnet, really cool game. Cool to see like a YouTuber who makes videos on game design can make a good game.
Yeah. Took a while.
He was like, "Don't worry about me. If you leave without me, I will just catch up." And I was like, "Oh, I was going to abandon you anyway. I had no idea." But yeah, we'll see the next. Well, there'll be more Steam Next Fest videos.
Yes.
I don't think I didn't play a single VR demo this year either, and we will also be talking about probably shooters and platformers because I play a lot of those, and probably roguelites as well. And we'll have another favorites video where Tony will do his timestamp wizardry, where he makes it so it'll link to the timestamp of the video, which I don't understand.
Goes to the video from one video.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.